This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 701 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you, one day at a time. Today's tip is brought to you by EquestrianCollections.com. Hi, Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is all about horse trailer innovations that the European market has been enjoying for some time now, but are now also available in North America. Our expert guest is Marcia Houlihan, who owns Maple Lane Equestrian Trailers in Canada and is a distributor of Bachmann trailers. This is an excerpt from episode number 295 of the Horses in the Morning Show. And we're going to get to our tip right after this word from EquestrianCollections.com.
Hi, Glenn here from the Horse Radio Network, and I am with Debbie from Equestrian Collections with Equestrian Collections Product of the Week.
This week I'm going to be featuring the MDC Super Sport Stirrup. They actually come in two styles, but basically the thing that sets these apart are the footbed. A lot of your listeners, I'm sure, are familiar with the MDC stirrup line because they're really top-of-the-line stirrups. They're the ones that have the little turny thing at the top where you can put your feet at any angle for comfort and to make your feet more correct in the stirrup. But this new one has a very wide base with non-stick aluminum padding. That base is about 2.5 to 3 inches wide. And when you put your foot in that stirrup, you are secure. Your foot doesn't slip. You won't feel like your foot is going to slip. You really feel secure. It's great for fox hunters. Particularly, we were thinking fox hunters would love these because there's lots of good stability. And also, they come in with a flex side, the flexible hinge, which you can move your foot back and forth and you can feel that, or they come in the more traditional one without that flexible hinge for those who want a more traditional look, like in the show ring. But if you're the jumpers, the fox hunters, anybody, beginners, anybody that wants a really solid feel should get these stirrups. We've had trainers that got on my friend's horse who has this stirrup, and she said, "Oh my God, where did you get these?" Because they feel so good. Now, they're not inexpensive. The ones with the flexible hinges are $200, $199.95. So they are for the serious rider. But I highly recommend them. Really, the minute you put your foot in them, you're going to feel completely different and a lot more secure.
Well, and the other thing about MDC is it's top quality stuff. This is the good stuff. This is made to last, and it will last. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Anybody that even has any kind of knee or leg issues, they'll find that these will help alleviate some of that as well. And of course, this is the MDC Super Sport Stirrups and MDC other stirrups on there as well at EquestrianCollections.com. Just search for MD as in dog, C as in Charlie.
And I also want to mention trail riders. They are great for riding on hilly trails too, for that secure feel.
Especially with the wider foot base, that would be
exactly.
That would be good.
Thanks,
MDC
Glenn.
Super Sport Stirrups at EquestrianCollections.com. This product highlight was produced by the Horse Radio Network. Listen to all of our shows at HorseRadioNetwork.com.
And what we're going to be talking about here is the 1-horse and 2-horse trailers, the smaller horse trailers, not big goosenecks. And the reason is there's a lot more people thinking economy. A lot of people are actually selling their goosenecks now and downsizing a bit.
That's
and
right.
these are really made for being, like we have a Jeep Liberty. These are really made for being towed by lesser vehicles than huge trucks, right?
You got it. In Europe, they just don't have the same truck system that we have in North America. We're a truck culture, really, in North America. And over there, gas prices, fuel prices are so high. And just the cultural development of their road systems, they pull everything with cars. And I mean everything with cars. So they had to design trailers that would be safe to be pulled by a smaller tow vehicle, and there's like 3 big features that make that possible. They have different balance than what we have in a North American bumper pull. They add an aerodynamic perspective of features in the roof, and that eliminates drag and sway. And then they have a different kind of braking system than what we use typically here. So three big features.
I want to talk about all three of those, actually.
Okay.
The first one, the balance, and I think this is very interesting because one of the things that happens, and anybody that's hauled a trailer knows this, is there tends to be, when you have the horses loaded, there tends to be a lot of weight on the tongue, on the hitch that's attached to your truck. And you can see that because the back end of your truck really goes down. So these are actually designed that the weight is over the wheels so that what's in fact happening is it's not pushing down on the back of your truck. Did I get that right?
You're right on that, and it's right where they place the axles. So in a North American bumper pull, the axles will be placed right to the back of the trailer. So now your horses are standing ahead of the support system, and then you've got your tack and hay and water, whatever else you've put in the front of the trailer, and so you have extra weight now leaning or piggybacking on your tow vehicle, which is okay because we pull with trucks which have really strong chassis frames and can support the extra weight. But if you're going to pull with a Volvo station wagon or a Jeep Liberty or a Ford Escape or a minivan, those chassis just can't bear as much weight. So by centering the axles right underneath the center of where your horse stands, now you've got like 96% of your weight being supported by the frame of the trailer itself and only about 4% leaning onto the tow vehicle.
So now, why aren't American manufacturers doing that?
I don't know. I think it'll come over time. But, we build based on our culture, right? So the trailers that were designed in North America didn't need to be smaller or tinier because we pulled with trucks originally, and they moved livestock and sheep and whatever else. And when they made them for horses, they just sort of made them taller and bigger. In Europe, they never moved their livestock with trucks. That wasn't something they did, so they had to design based on what they had. And there's actually road regulations. In Germany, you cannot have a tongue weight for any trailer of any length or any weight greater than 150 kilograms or 330 pounds. And that's shocking.
Wow.
Shocking for people here. They're like, really? So it's possible by just where the axles are placed and how far apart they're placed. They're only allowed to be so many inches apart from each other to a maximum and to a minimum distance so that it can't be, crazily apart underneath the trailer. That wouldn't be safe either. So it's very interesting how their design has come about.
Well, now we used to have a trailer, a Shoop trailer, I think, at that point years ago, 25 years ago, a 2-horse trailer that instead of having electric brakes had surge brakes. Mm-hmm. And, I guarantee you that 70% of the audience has no idea what I'm talking about right now. You have to be of a certain vintage to have it run into a surge brake, but yours are tell us about the brakes because they're not electric.
They're not electric. Electric brakes are actually illegal in Europe, and they're illegal because the fail-safe for electricity is that you have a tow vehicle with a wide enough wheelbase and that's heavy enough that in the event the electricity ever fails, your tow vehicle can slow down the trailer that it's got hauling behind.
Oh, and then the other thing that's the other thing that's the fail-safe is the dead battery that everybody has. Because I guarantee you that 90% of the little tiny batteries that sit on that hitch there are dead.
Right, and that's something else you have to consider to maintain too, right? For the kind of braking system that's used throughout Europe and on these models in particular, it's an entirely mechanical system. So it's like the surge brake that those of us of old will recall, but there's no fluid introduced. It's entirely mechanical. So what I mean is that where your coupler connects to your 2-inch ball, just behind that is a huge shock, a master cylinder, and it's connected via an S-cam to a brake rod. And that rod runs about a third of the way under the trailer, and then it comes to a little T intersection, I call it, where all 4 brake cables meet. And so when you're slowing down, the trailer is naturally going to catch up to you during that time when you're slowing down, and pressure is put through that tongue, kicks on the shock, and then that pulls on the brake rods and applies your brakes. So the trailer is always self-adjusting its speed to the speed of the tow vehicle. So you never feel it push on you, the trailer. It always is going to stop as quickly or as slowly as your tow vehicle is going to.
So we're really kind of, it is different than the surge brakes like we were used to, because you used to be able to feel the trailer pushing you a little bit before those brakes kicked in.
Right. Yep. And people ask me, if it's a mechanical brake system, what happens when you go backwards, when you reverse or reverse up a hill? How's that going to work? In the old days, there would be a pin that would have to be removed so that it would disengage the brake, and then you could roll backwards. Now, all the new cool technology, there's it's called an overcam inside the brake hub, and when the wheels turn in reverse, it releases that overcam so that there's only about 4% of the brake still in play, so you don't even notice that when you're backing up. You can back up and park anywhere, back up hills, no problem.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah,
well, now
caveman braking, I tell you.
Well, I love that idea, actually, because I hate pulling around with the electric brakes and always adjusting them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these had a couple other things, too, that I've always wanted to see on trailers, and hopefully they'll become a thing over here, too, is the ability to unlock the butt bar from the outside, to release
yes.
from the outside. So you actually have a mechanism that, without even going into the trailer, I can release the butt bar without putting my hand in there.
Mm-hmm. And it's a multi-purpose one. So they've redesigned, actually, the whole button chest bar system for 2011. But they had this feature in the past. And there's a ring on the outside of the trailer at the positions of both the chest bars, so on both sides of the trailer where the chest bars are, and at the rear where the butt bars are. And you can tie your horses to those rings if you needed to, tying them up outside. But in the event you had a horse spook and get up over top of a chest bar and get hung up, or back in underneath the butt bar, you can take a broom handle. A broom and shovel come with all the trailers, and you can take your broom handle or a wrench or anything that will fit through the ring and unscrew that ring. The ring is connected to a bolt that is integral to the system on the inside of the trailer. And as that bolt is pulled, unscrewed out, it loosens up the fixture that's on the inside of the stall wall, and then you can either lift off the butt bar so that the horse is no longer stuck underneath, or in the chest bar, it will drop the chest bar to the ground. So then the horse slides off and comes down on all 4 feet, and then you go in the trailer and say, okay, what's going on? Let's put you back together again.
I could have used that. A couple of times I could have really used that.
Yeah. It's amazing when that happens and you open the door and you see hooves over top of the chest bar and you go, oh, crap, now what?
Yeah, exactly. No, the chest bar is the one, too, that I've seen that happen with. And you have something, too. One of these designs actually has, and this is a 2-horse trailer, keep in mind, a very sleek-looking 2-horse trailer. One of these designs actually has a ramp in the front, too, so you just load them and walk them through.
That's right.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, we have a lot of veterinarians that buy that model, actually, because if you have an injured horse, backing them off or stepping them backwards off a trailer can be really hard on if it's their hips or they have a leg lameness or something in their back. So walking them forward off is a lot easier. And I think we have 10 or 11 vets now that own trailers, and all of them but one own that model with the walk-off at the front. So I find that interesting that that's their choice. Yeah.
It does make sense for them, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other thing, so the couple of the other things I noticed, too, and this has always been a complaint, and it seems like they're fixing that, again, the Europeans coming through to fix this, is that the ramp is longer so that the horse, longer than we're traditionally used to here, so that the horse can fit all 4 feet on the ramp.
It's a 5-foot ramp, so and the angle is quite low because the height from the floor, the stall floor off the ground is just around 16 inches, so it's not a really steep incline, and by having a longer ramp, it's an even lower incline for the horse to walk up. So for young horses, it's not scary to get into the trailer, but by having 5 feet, any horse of any size, 18 hands or lower, are going to be able to put all 4 feet on that ramp so that they're in the same plane. They're not getting off balance by stepping on the ground and 1 foot on the ramp and 1 foot inside the trailer. It just gives them more stability going in. We used to have an old, very old steel trailer, a North American one, and had a mare that would jump over the ramp to get into the trailer because
oh dear,
she was pretty happy when we got this one.
Oh dear. Hey, I got another ramp question for you, Marcia.
Yeah, shoot.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I've been surfing around your website quite a bit, because that yellow one that you have on your inventory, my chestnut quarter horse would look so adorable on.
Oh, I love it.
But did I see one that the ramp can either be used as a ramp or as a door. You can convert it.
Yeah, they've had that design for many years, and then took it off the market for a couple of years and redesigned it for 2011. And it is the slickest thing. So normally your ramp would, be down, and then you lift it up with there's hydraulic shocks that help lift the ramp, because otherwise it would be very heavy. So the hydraulics help lift it. You lock it into place with two big clamps left and right, and then to open it as a door on the passenger side, you would unhook the ramp clamp, and then there's a pin at the bottom, and you just pull the pin, and the door swings like a big barn door all the way around to the driver's side, where you
That
can.
is awesome.
Yeah, so you have a step-up or a ramp load in one trailer.
same
It's very
trailer.
cool.
Wow, that's really cool.
I-
Yeah,
want one.
it's very slick. We demonstrated that quite a bit at the Royal Winter Fair in Toronto in November, and that was a pretty hot discussion topic around the fair. Is come on, try this, and it's so easy. That's what I love about it. You just pull the pin and whoop,
Wow,
opening up.
I can't tell you how many times we would have used that and
Well,
switched it around for different horses. I cannot tell you how many times.
And it's an option. Usually they're standard as a ramp load, but, if you have, we've had families where, one person does Western riding and their horse has only ever done a step up, and then somebody else who's doing English in the same family and their horses have only ever done ramps. Well, what trailer do you buy, So now this gives people an option to have that option added, and, you solve everything in one vehicle. It's very cool.
Or if you're like us and you also use your horse trailer to move furniture,
Yes.
and it's nice to have the step up and not the ramp.
Yep. Yep, moving hay or shaving pallets, too. If you have a little loader, you can just open the door and then just drive right up. You take out all the bars down and the stall divider out, and you're good to go. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing, too, is they really look like spaceships.
Yes, they do. They're very futuristic looking. That's partly the aerodynamic design. They have a very aerodynamic wedge and yet rounded front at the front of the roof. And then along the sides, there's indentations into the side of the roof, and then it flares out with a spoiler built into the back. And it's the spoiler built into the back that eliminates your vacuum. A lot of North American trailers are like transport truck trailers. They're like a big rectangle that pulls down the road. So they create a big vacuum in the back, and that vacuum, when the air bops around it, is what creates sway. So you'll hear of people, I need to put sway bars on my bumper pull so it doesn't, wag me as I go down the road. And these trailers won't do that because of the lack of vacuum at the back and the way the tires are put on. They're put on like a car tire. So instead of being parallel, they're actually angled in and towed in a little bit at the front, so they'll always run in a straight line, and they grip the road then when you go on curves. So it's great for driving in crappy weather.
All right. Well, yeah, and that's definitely our trailer right now. We have a 2-horse trailer that has that problem. We could really use some sway bars on it. So we just need to find a way to get one of yours and solve the problem. That's what we need to do.
Wasn't that? Well, just so you know, we have a dealer now that's opened up in Maryland. So we're starting to get some trailers coming into the U.S. too, which is great. And people come across the border and shop all the time. So it's nice about our two countries. We can do that a little more easily.
So now, where can people learn more about these trailers and your company?
Well, I would be happy to have them surf our website. It's MapleLaneTrailers.com. That's the easy way to do it. And you're more than welcome to surf and then give us a call. We'd be happy to answer any questions. For us, we're showing at shows up in Canada, but you're welcome to come across the border. We're happy to have cross-border shoppers.
All right. Well, thank you. You explained it very well, and these are really, really cool. It makes me want one. I want one now. So,
All right. Well,
on my Christmas list.
Exactly. Hopefully Santa will be good to you as long as you've been good all year.
All right, Marcia. I'll be sending you my wish list, okay?
Well, there you go. We'll have links to Bachman and Foutris horse trailers, both available in North America, on our show notes page at horsetipdaily.com. Or you can just search for the internet for Bachman, Bockmann, or Foutris, Fautras, both brands of trailers that have one or more or even all of the features we talked about in today's tip. Don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily because they make these podcasts possible. Today's podcast has been brought to you by EquestrianCollections.com. Just like Horse Tip Daily brings the whole world of equine knowledge to you, Equestrian Collections brings the whole world of equine online shopping to you. Check them out today at equestriancollections.com and tell them Coach Jen sent you. Please stop by the Horse Tip Daily Facebook page and let us know what you think of the tips you hear on the show. It's also a great place to tell us about topics you'd like to hear us cover on the show. You can subscribe to all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network through iTunes or Zune and get your horse podcasts automatically downloaded to your iPod, Zune, or MP3 player. You can also listen to the shows right on Facebook. The player's right there every day. I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, go ride your horse! The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.